Hello there traders, petar.jacimovic here from vycofanalysis.com. I want to post the update on the British Pound USD since I got a few emails and requests to do the analysis on the British Pound USD. So here we are. This is the British Pound USD chart, and there's a lot of questions regarding this strong drop and what we may expect in the next period on the British Pound USD. So here is my view and my explanation about this current situation and what we may expect in the next period. Okay, so as you see, I'm bearish on the British Pound USD. I started to sell today at around the 1.2 380.85 area, and I will explain the reasons behind my my entry here and why I'm expecting a lower price on the British Pound USD. Okay, so we'll go with we will have the few steps in the analysis. So this is also what I teach my students and the process of how I analyze the market, and how, in my opinion, every professional trader should analyze in the few steps, right? So first of all, we will start with if we speak about a fundamental aspect on the British Pound USD, we are in the Brexit. Brexit is still active trade, and as long as the Brexit is active, the investors, it's very hard for them to establish and to have the actually confidence to establish any large buying positions on the British Pound USD. So it will take for at least like maybe half or even whole year that the British Pound approve that they can be independent, alone, and that they can establish good results and so on, economy and so on. So the Brexit threat is still active, and as long as Brexit is active, fundamentally this is very, very bearish. So British Pound is very bearish fundamentally. So now let's see about the few steps I spoke about if we speak about the technical analysis and how we analyze them, and intermarket also analysis. So this drop here, there is a lot of speech why this happened, because of the speech, and the other country about the Brexit and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's not so important that happening. So we saw that happening, right? And immediately after I saw this big drop, there is two options in my head. First option, this is the markdown, and this is a markdown, but let's see, the smart money would usually mark down or mark up the market. They mark down clearly this on Friday, right? But why they mark down? They mark down massively. I mean, this is about 500, it's almost 600 pip drop in a single day. So they marked up, and they want to see the how much is there any big demand to respond this, and to which area the buyers got power to respond. The buyers basically responded all the way to 1.2480. This is a critical area. They got power to this level, and we can clearly see that they don't have any more power. We got the lower swing highs, so this may continue, and in my opinion this will continue lower, right? But so the smart money marked it down in an ultra high volume, and then they want to see how much the response of buyers, so how much they got power to respond to which area. Do they have power to absorb totally the supply, or they don't have power? They saw that they don't have power, right? So the market makers maneuver and the smart money maneuver, so they did this markdown on the purpose, right? It doesn't matter what they used for this. It can be any speech or something like that, or just their own will to do this, right? Now let's take a look. This is the future chart of the British Pound USD. And I saw this massive drop here, and the supply came in an ultra high volume. This was as you see here, 19.16k compared to average 4.2k. So this is a very climatic action. The bar closed in the middle. So clearly the demand came in from the low, and there is a strength in this area here. But this is what took my interest here. So this is clearly weakness in my opinion, because imagine that we got a 25.65k, so 25k. So this is a like 6k a larger activity in this bar, and this bar is well 20k, and the next bar like 12k. But look at the price action, guys. Look at the price action. And since I'm the Vikov trader, since I'm a big fan of the Vikov, how he analyzes the market, and I learned from his books and so on. So this is what we call the ultra high effort with a weak result. So let's take a look. If we got a massive drop and the volume was 19k, how we can have like 40, 50 pips or 30 pips only price action with a even larger volume? Well, this represents the high effort, right? So there is a lot of contracts that are traded here, but there is actually no result from this effort, which is clear sign of the weakness. As we know, back in here, right? So I will back here on the chart. Back in here, let's take a look, for example, short mid-term trend. So we got absolutely trend in the place. So this is a clear downward trend, right? I know that a lot of traders will try to pick up this pin bar. They see this like a pin bar, right? But smart money don't care for the pin bars or stuff like that. They trade according to the price action, supply, demand, right? So a lot of traders will try to pick the bottom, and this is where most of retail traders and also some institutional traders make a big mistake, trying to pick tops and bottoms is the very how to say that, very risky. It is same like that you're trying to go in casino, you know, and put. So this is a very risky, because the market will always go to the on path of least resistance, right? And this is what we call the trend, in other words. So the path of least last resistance, right? So this is where the people and where the crowd can be trapped, because they see the pin bar, but they don't actually understand the price action, and then they totally trade. They totally don't watch what's the trend in this area, right? So, and fundamentally and everything, so everything is for the bearish side, right? If you back to see the pure price action and see what's going on, so this is what's going on. And we saw also in the futures market that this bar here, put it on this bar here, and this bar here got the ultra high volumes, but look at the price action, right? Look at the price action, 40 pips, and this was a 20k volume on this. And if this was a 19k, how this can be a 25 and this 20k? So this is absolutely a rally where we saw that there is no actually power. They got the fort, but they got no result in the real price action, which is big sign of weakness. So now we have, I will write here the points. We have the first point, the trend is bearish, right? So I will not watch for buying opportunities as long the trend is bearish. I will not watch. Okay, so first, the trend is bearish. The second thing, we did a futures market and we saw the volume analysis there, and there is a we call this high effort with weak result. This is what I spoke about, and reflection is in this area here. High forward, strong volume activities, but price action only 65 to 70 pips compared to this 600 almost pips drop. So how is possible that something drop like 600 pips almost in a 19k volume, for example, in the futures market, and then you see the demand on the 25k and only 80 pips upward, or 20k and only 50 pips upward, right? So this is what we call high forward with weak result, right? And the third thing is basically, okay, we know the trend is bearish, we saw that buyers don't have power, and we saw the high forward with weak result, but the third thing is where we want to sell and how will we manage setup. It's also very important, and the answer is I use in the profile analysis. Okay, if I want to position myself. So this is the histogram, the profile histogram. This area here where you see the histogram got this highest peak at this point here, this is what we call the point of control, and that point of control is basically the point of control from Friday. Point of control from Friday is actually set at 1.2430. The point of control level, maybe you don't know about the profile. This is some basics of the profile analysis. The point of control is the area where we got the price was most of the time during the Friday, let's call it that way. So this is a point of control where the trader trade most of the time, and that price is the point of control. And clearly you can see here that point of control is around 1.2430, right? And it's not surprising why we saw the rejection here today from that point of control, and the rejection of 40 pips. Once I saw this price supply came in and rejection from this, I started to sell. So this is the reason, and I don't expect any better price than this, in my opinion, on the British pound. So I don't expect better price in this area where we are right now, in this area here. So point of control strong, so trend is bearish, high forward with weak result, using the volume analysis and the profile analysis tell us where is the point of control, right? Now we go to see potential objective points and potential stop loss levels. The stop loss level, in my opinion, is best area to place just above this recent reaction swing high. This is the automatic rally swing high, and since the price respected this few times, this is the best stop loss and most safe, this is the safest stop loss order, in my opinion, right? Watching the price action. So this is about the stop loss in this particular example. The objective point, the best area of course to place, is the swing lows in the past, and we got 1.2230 and 1.2050, let's say, area at this point here. So I'm aiming actually for this swing low absolutely in the next for this week. This is my objective point. It's about 330 pips. I'm aiming to take this potentially, and I'm absolutely want to secure my position and this swing low. So if the price go like 150 pips, I will move my stop loss original, right, which is about 80 pips, 85. I will move to this, to the break even if the price reach this area, and then wait for this potential test again of this swing low. So this is, in my opinion, the best thing you can do. If you, this is the way you should analyze every currency pair and to treat every trade like this. What is also important here is the second scenario, to having had a second scenario, right? So let's say the second scenario, if the price go and hit my if the price go and hit my stop loss, for example, for any reason, that will potentially confirm potential absorption incoming of this climatic action, right? and I will watch for buying opportunities. I will take the loss here, so I don't risk, as you see, I risk 1% from account. So I risk like 1% from account. You can risk, depend of your trading style, you can risk lower or a little bit higher, but don't overextend risk. It doesn't matter how the setups look like. Okay, so I'm risking like 1%, and I'm aiming for something like 4% in return in this particular setup, right? If you risk 2%, of course you're aiming for 8% return. But the second scenario I have also in hand, because if the price go above, that will confirm that strength will come in the market. We will break this reaction swing high, and this may confirm absorption of the British pound. So I will look for buying opportunities if the price breaks 1.2480. If I see the breakout of this and then some testing later on of supply, I will buy there. That is the second scenario in case that price reach my stop loss. But absolutely, I'm bearish on this one, and my advice is to be very careful when buying and never try to pick bottoms, because I know what the most of retail traders will do. They will try to pick this pin bar, and you will see that price can go in the next period and retest the swing low, and who knows, it can also go lower if there is enough supply in the market, right? But what I also expected, that price will actually penetrate this low, because there is a lot of stop loss orders from the buyers at every of this point. This, for example, buying this, the stop loss orders for most of traders will be all the way to this point here, because they want to pick this bottom, and the market makers know about this, and probably they will absolutely go below this to close them. Okay, it's just my view and my opinion on this one. So this is how I teach also my students on my mentorship program. So I mean, if you want to start professional trading, and if you want to become full-time trader, right, my advice is kindly to start my mentorship program. It's a 7-day course where I teach you absolutely the steps, step by step. So every step of how you analyze the market, how you also do to watch the fundamental picture, how it looks like, how you watch the price action. As you know, we identify first of all, first thing is, what is the trend? I know that you probably heard millions of times that the trend is your friend, and it's really true. So this is not like sentence that it's just sentence for like that. It's because it's a very true. The first thing you will do is to find it doesn't matter if you trade short term, near term, or even intraday. If you trade, I will not trade even the intraday. If I try, for example, to trade intraday, I will not trade versus the short term trend. Okay, and it's not very hard to identify what is the short mid-term trend, right? So you see the lower swing highs. You can also place the moving averages 50, 21 or 50, 100, and if you see the price trading here below this, you see the lower swing highs, lower swing lows as well. So this is the trend. The trend is nothing more than path of least resistance. So that's it. That's what is the trend representing, right? And even if you're not positioned good because of the path of last resistance, you have a much higher chances than, for example, traders who trying to pick to predict actually the lows and pick the bottoms, and so forget about that. The real money, if you want if you want to collect and want to build good result, consistent result, you must trade with the trend. forget about picking tops and bottoms. I don't know actually any professional trader who is you know, became a millionaire or something like that trying to pick tops and bottoms. So don't play with fire, let's say on that way. Back in here, so yeah, I spoke about my mentorship program, and I spoke about the steps I will go. So I will teach you absolutely to watch how to identify the fundamental picture for currency pair you want to observe, how to follow the economic events, the high risk, the risk events, I mean the high impact news, and how to use your own logic to understand the fundamental picture. And then there is a part about technical analysis and creating the sentiment for the currency pair. And these are some major steps for when you do analysis for any currency pair. It's basically to find the trend. If there is no trend, for example, I'm not interested in the currency pair. If I see that the trend is neutral, it's trading in some sideways or something like that, it's better to trade the other trendy pairs. If there is always some trendy pairs on the market, so it's better to focus on this one and wait for the sideways market to finish, and you know, before establishing any position. So as you see, the steps, we found the trend of pound, right? Then we do the volume analysis. That I call this the second thing is to do the volume analysis, basically the volume price action analysis. And I found in the, as I spoke here, that I found on the futures market, as I showed you, that there is a high force with weak result, which is strong sign of the weakness. As we know that we are in the bear trend already, so this is a strong sign of weakness. And the third thing is what's also I teach my students is I very like to use the market profile analysis to see where are the potential good levels to establish positions. So very good to establish. For example, if you waited like price action for itself, and if you waited retesting of highs to establish position today, you will miss this opportunity, because basically the price tested the point of control rather than testing the swing highs from the previous price action, right? So this is the point of control, and this is much stronger than the swing high for itself, right? Because this is the area where the price traded most of the time during this big drop day, so during the Friday. And this is also part of my mentorship program, how to analyze the market profile and using our advantage. Market profile analysis is very powerful. This is the histogram profile market, but I also use the letter, only with letters. So, and all this is part of my mentorship program. So if you want to start your professional career and if you want to become a full-time trader, my advice is absolutely start my mentorship program. If you like my video, and if you want to, you can also for example, if you have money to invest and so on, I'm also doing a managing account, so you can contact me via Skype and I will be happy to establish cooperation. You can contact me on the Skype. I will put my Skype username in the description of the video. And if you like my video, feel free to comment my analysis and subscribe my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to follow my trading journal, the Forex Factory thread. I'm posting there every interesting thing I have about my positioning and some interesting things on the market. This is the art of trading better Serbia on the Forex Factory forum, and as you see, I posted also this explanation of the British Pound USD with the charts there, right? So you can check there, comment if you like, and so on. Subscribe on my thread, and you know, and on that way you can stay tuned on for the new market updates. That will be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you good trading, trade safe, and bye bye for now.